Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me today. We are working on part 2 of our retro rainbow watch cards. And of course, I'm using the watch bands die from Stamp Market as well as the coordinating stamp set called It's Time to Say. I'm going to create a shaker for one of these watch faces. So I've cut out this border a bunch of times. I want to say this was probably somewhere between 8 and 10. I can't remember. But I'm just going to layer these with some art glitter glue over and over again until I've got a nice sort of side base built up that my sequins are going to fit into. You'll see when I start putting all of this together how this is going to work. I did take one of those and glue that onto some clear acetate. That's going to create the top of our shaker, but I'm starting with this now so that everything can get nice and dry and it'll be ready to go when we put this together, and that will keep our sequins from sticking to anything left over. So one last border to put together here. And there you can see that makes a nice thick edge, making sure everything is even and all pressed together. And then I'm going to set that off to the side to dry, and I will stick another one of my stamp blocks on top of this to sort of squish everything down, make sure we don't have any air bubbles. So now that that is all dried, and I did probably let that sit for maybe a half an hour or so, just to make sure we're nice and good, I'm going to trim off the excess acetate around this top portion here. And then I'm going to take my stack of frames. This is what gives us that thick edge around the border. We're going to add some art glitter glue to that, and we're going to place that onto our watch face. And I'm going to set that aside and let that dry. Now I'm going to take my purple border and I'm going to add that to the top piece, which has our acetate behind it. I know that's hard to see on here, but it'll again make sense once I start placing everything together. Again, placing a stamp block on top of that to make sure everything is stuck down nice and tight. So we're going to start working on our other watches. I'm going to add this blue border to the larger watch face here. And then we will add our hands in the center, just a little dot of glue there for each of those. And I'll make sure that's down nice and tight. We're going to create a little stripe here on our watch bands, pulled in this coral color. I'm going to place that right down the center. And we'll go ahead and do that on both of these. Then I want to add some of these smaller pink stripes on either side. So the way I'm keeping these even is I'm just going to follow along that stitch mark there and place that stripe right on top. And we'll do that on either side. Next, we'll just go ahead and trim off that excess. I've cut out the little bars that our bands fit on out of the craft cardstock, and I'm going to set these back just ever so slightly. Again, I'm always trying to go for sort of different looks, different ideas, so I'm going to leave a little bit of that edge peeking out there just to get a little different look. We'll add a little dot of that art glitter glue on the side piece of our watch face. Again, always using that background craft mat there to line everything up nice and straight. Now we're going to go ahead and finish up our shaker card here. So I do want to go ahead and place our watch hands in. And I want to make sure that's down nice and tight and that there's no extra glue or anything sticking out there. I'm going to let that sit off to the side again because I don't want my sequins to stick to any residual glue that might, just a smidgen that might be there. So we'll finish this third watch here. Adding some diamond glitter around the edge there. We'll go ahead and get these hands placed on as well. And then for these bands, we're going to pull in the hearts again, but we're going to do it again a little differently because I'm always trying to think of a different look that we can create using the same things. So I have made a rainbow of these, and instead of spacing them out, we're going to place them pretty close together. And I'm just going to do this in rainbow order. So I'll place another dot of glue below, and we will add in our yellow. Our green. Our blue. And our purple. And this fits perfectly within that space, just making it before we start hitting the holes there. And I'll repeat the same for our second band. We'll go ahead here, get our bars added. I'm going to add these underneath our watch bands this time. And again, finish this up. We'll add our little dot of glue behind our watch face. and get our band pressed into place. And we'll add the other side as well. Now we can go ahead and finish up our shaker. I'm going to add in some sequins. This is just a mix I put together of my own with some blues, some iridescence, a little bit of white in there as well. I'm going to add some art glitter glue around our top here, and we will press that into place. I am going very lightly on that glue. I want to make sure that I hit all of the edges so it's nice and secure, but I don't want anything to squeeze out of it. And then again, I will place my stamp block on top of that to make sure that everything glues nice and tight. After a few minutes here, I'm going to add our watch bands. And I did a mismatch on this one, if you'll notice. I have one that has the holes in it and one that has the sort of dotted, perforated line there along the edges. Got my card base here, and I'm popping up each of my watch bands. And we're going to alternate these just to give it some interest. I want to make sure that I'm not stacking the watch faces straight on top of one another. And now we're going to go ahead, peel away the backing and get everything pressed into place. So for this one, I'm going to start with my center watch. That is our sentiment. So I want to get this down in place where I'd like it to be. I want to show off enough of each side of that color there. And I don't want my sentiment to be right in the middle, just to sort of keep the eye moving. So slightly off-centered with that thanks, thanks, thanks. We'll go ahead and add our top watch as well. And then lastly, we're going to place down our little hearts. And for this, I wanted to show one sort of full end of that watch band. So I'm moving this over enough to show two of those holes off there for the watch band and the full set of hearts. Again, I'm going to stamp out the inside with this thanks sentiment. Thanks for all the times you've helped me, using my intense black ink for that. We will add some ATG to the back of that panel, pop that on the inside of our card base. And that will complete our card for today. Here are a few close-ups of the finished card. In the description box below, you'll find my blog post, which has additional photos and links to the supplies I've used. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.